Hello guys, about 7 months ago, or a little above 7 months ago, I started an experiment with planting seed yams, foundation seed yams, very small foundation seed yam, maybe about 25 grams, some of them even below. I wanted to experiment because it's actually an improved variety, or I would say they actually improved varieties. There are two of them. One in this bed and the other here. Now, the interesting thing about that improved variety is that they have very good yield and a lot of other fantastic qualities we'll talk about maybe subsequently. But there is actually something I needed to confirm. Now, they have very good yield, but they have a standard planting distance. Let's say I think it's about 25 centimeter, in a row, and 1 meter apart if you are planting in ridges. But I decided to do something I would say very crazy. I needed to beat that, distance down to see if it will really work. I planted 10 centimeter apart and 10 centimeters within, so 10 centimeters apart and 10 centimeters within a particular row, and the two rows 10 centimeters apart, meaning I was using a distance of 10 centimeter by 10 centimeter, which is very close, if you say. So today I want to see how they fed. I don't know if it actually, because if it's going to work, if I'm going to get something sizable, it means we can actually be using very small space for this improved variety as against the usual standard. Although that standard was also as a result of research and all that. I took it a little bit further to see. If it doesn't work, fine, we'll go back to status quo. But if it's going to give us anything reasonable, it means we can actually cut down on the planting distance. That was all this whole experiment was all about, or is all about. So I want to check the outcome now. So let's go and see how it's going to turn out. We don't know whether it will work. All right. Okay. The first thing that you are going to see me do here is to, I want to wet the place so that it will be easy for me to remove the seed yams that are in here. Now, what happened is that this dry season and the bed is already too hard, and I will not be able to remove them until I wet them, so that the whole place will be soft for me to just be removing them. Now, like you can see, everywhere is already dried, so complete senescence has taken place. And let me tell you the unique thing about this place. The length I have here is about 5 meters by 1 meter. 5 meters by 1 meter, which means 500 centimeter by 100 centimeters. And to a very large extent, if you are going to calculate that to a very large extent, it means we have quite an amount of seed yams here. So if it is, it means I have about 10 seed yams per the breadth, and 500 now, that's 50. So here, eventually, we are supposed to have 500 seed yams, coming out from this place. Of course, it's not going to be 100% germination and all that, but let's see how it goes. I'm going to have to dismantle the bed, and we'll start removing them one after the other. I'll see. But before we go there, before I start to dismantle, there was something I did. I want to quickly just show you. I hope I can still get it. One of the seed yams around here, I did milking. And I'm going to see if it actually, yeah, so somewhere around here. Okay, yeah, this should be it. Let me just keep this by the side. Yes. I removed one long one before, and I now did milking. Left the head. So you can see that they gave me a very good seed yam. It's interesting. So here it has how many spots to even grow. So this is the seed yam that was produced from that milked yam, and you can see it's looking amorphous like any other one. So you can see that milking can be done anywhere and at any particular point. So let's see how it is going to be. I'm going to remove everything here now. I'll start harvesting them set by set. All right. So what I need to do now is to dismantle the whole trellis arrangement so that I can start taking the seed yams out one after the other. So it has done its job. We want to start the harvest now. So I've dismantled and I've exposed the bed. I've removed everything that I used to make the raised bed. So what we are having here now is where the yams are, hopefully. So let's take it gently. It's going to be a long walk, but we'll keep taking it one after the other, line by line, so that we can get, okay. This is the first one I'm getting here. Wow. So this is it. I planted something very small. What I'm seeing here is, this one is nice. Let's see how others will be. Of course, some will be very small and some might even be bigger. We don't know. Okay. So I'll just take it gently and follow. I have to be very careful in order not to injure any yam. Okay guys, I'm already done with harvesting this bed of, I'll say, variety A, and there's another variety B. And of course, I've done just half of this, but I needed to quickly do this video before it finally gets dark, because it's already late evening this way. All right, like I said, these are new varieties of white yam. So I needed to look at the yield if we alter the standard spacing. The standard spacing is about 25 centimeters, apart. Now, that is the standard. So, disclaimer, what I'm doing is largely my own experiment. It has nothing to do with the standard, all right? But this is what we got. 500 tiny seeds, they were planted there. And the tiny seeds, they were just, let's say, about 25, less than 25 gram actually. Something like this was what I planted. Maybe a bit like this. And now we are getting stuff like this. So I just brought a digital scale. Let me scale this to see. This one is giving me, this is about 490 gram from something you got from something like this, which is just tiny. This one is even 17 gram. So it was something like this I planted to get all this. Now, for me, I would say that this variety did very, very well, if you ask me, compared to what I planted. Although this is the big one, there are some that are just on the average. Like this, let's say, this one is even 308 gram. If I'm weighing this one now, this will give me, this is about 460 gram. So if you look at it, basically, you'll say that this one has done. And the interesting thing about this variety I love is that if it's going to bring out seed, sometimes it brings up to about 2-3. Let me just show. All right, let me say, okay, fine. See this one, something like this. Even if it is going to bring out something tiny, it will be double. This one is even triple. 1, 2. These are small ones. I can actually break up this and plant, and it will still give me something unique. Now, what is our take home from this? what is our take home? Our take home is that we can actually, reduce the space and still get considerable yield. Probably they would have been far, far better than this if we had spaced it a little bit. But at least this one is already too big for even a seed yam. So what do you think? Do you think that this experiment has done well? For me, I'll give it a pass mark. But I'm not the judge. I don't know what you think. But something else I would love to do. This is what I did on direct soil. If I'm going to extend this experiment, I want to do something in sacks. I'll still plant tiny things like this. I'll plant them in sack and still see the yield. Now, for even things that are even very, very tiny, tinier than the one I planted, for example, this one, how many grams is this one now? I want to tell you what I can do with this. This one is just about 7 grams. Maybe at the end of it, or it will still reduce when the moisture content has reduced. But let me tell you the interesting thing. Even this 7 grams is very unique to me, because you know what I'm going to do with it? I'm going to plant them, and once they start growing, I'll cut the vines and use them and multiply them as, see, I'll plant the yam vines from this, because this variety is actually fantastic for vine cuttings. So this is variety A, all right? Now, variety B did not do as much as this. It is understandable, because if you check the catalog from the Research Institute of this particular variety A, which I will reveal the name later at the end of the video, this variety A, you are going to realize that the yield per hectare is far more compared to this other variety. But you will not be wondering what's the difference between both. I love the other variety. I'll tell you why. Okay, let's just quickly come to this other variety. All right, this is the second variety. One interesting thing about this variety, even though it did not yield as much as that, although it's half I've done now, but it's very unique because it's always, it's always very, very long. And for those who plant yam in sacks, I am very, very sure this one will be very, very, very interesting when it comes to yam. Although that one will also be very interesting because it yields more than 1, 2 at a time. This one does that too, but the length is usually very long. This one is just seed yam. What we planted is about, 25 grams or less. And this is what we are getting. And if you check most of them, they are just like that. See this one. It's very, very long. In fact, the disadvantage is that if you are not careful, you always fracture them. In the other one, before I harvested the 500, I did not fracture up to about 6. But here, up to half, I'm already fracturing some because the ground is hard. I wet the ground before, but then I did not even know that they will grow that long. That's the interesting thing. And again, the unique thing about this one is that it's usually very white. And because people like pure white, pure compared to this other one, that one is white. They are still white here, but this is like snow white, as you can see. You see, very, very white. And so that's why people like this. And one unique thing about this variety, for those who love pounded yam, you can just, bring it out from the ground, like if it were to be where yam now, and take it straight to the pot and pound your yam, and it's very, very good. This is variety B. And people really, really love this variety, including my very self. So, but they are very unique varieties. If I'm going to do yam in sacks and all that, I will combine both varieties because that will give me very good yield. This one, there are some special, properties. At the end of it all, you see that we've been able to establish some things. Now, what is the name of these varieties that we are talking about? Please, if you have experience with them, let me know. I want to know your thoughts because this is just an experiment that I did, and I'm sure I have learned and you have learned a lot from me. So this variety A is called Pamio. This is the Pamio variety. And variety B, this one actually, I just brought it to also compare with what I got from the ground. This one, I got it from the cone garden. So I'm still going to experiment this with sacks and cone garden later. For those who don't know cone garden, check out my videos, you see they are usually very long. This is actually CDM too. So this is Asiedu. The variety B is Asiedu, and this is Bamio. So they are fantastic new yam varieties from the Research Institute. So I would always advise, if you want to get quality CDMs, it is important to go to Research Institute. IITA is the fantastic research institute you try as much as possible to patronize. It's not like I'm advertising, but of course, if you want to really get good yield, there's no need wasting money on varieties that you don't trust or the ones that will not give you good yield. Just go to IITA. It's a non-profit organization. You can just always go there and, of course, get your varieties that you want. They will always welcome you. It's a free place to be. If you don't have access, I can help, but it's actually free. Go to their website. You can always have contact and all that. So go there and get good varieties that you can trust, especially the ones that are, for export and all that. And a lot of researches, they have done a lot of researches to make life easy for every one of us. I think it is only, reasonable and important for us to always have recourse to them. So I'm going to do more about these whole varieties. I'm going to be doing more experiment about the planting distance and all that. Whatever your experiences are, please get back to me. I really, really want to know, because I want to learn from you. I also want you to get us feedback. And at the end of it all, every one of us will learn. So thank you so much for watching, and just check out our next video, and God bless you.